We won. Victory over tribunal costs. Absolutely amazing and nice to announce a victory for all of us in the trade union movement. We beat them. The Tories thought, gonna be a bit expensive if we have to pay for workers paying for the case of to defend unfair dismissal or something like that. They got a little bit worried and they decided that they would stop all payments for tribunal costs. Yep. However, we know full well that unions like my own, like Unite and Unison, still carried on paying these costs for people anyway. It was part of being a union member. But now, victory. Pass it on to anyone you know at work, anybody involved in anything with a tribunal about unfair dismissal or whatever. There are no costs for you to bear. But just while I highlight this victory, and it is a victory, and we celebrate and we are grateful, and we will indeed ensure that it is implemented. Don't forget also this is a victory under UK law. It has nothing to do with EU law, so there's no way they can go, but it was EU law, and EU law doesn't count now because post-Brexit it's all British law. No. It was a victory under British law in our highest court in the land. But just as we're celebrating, do remember the Tory MP who stood up in the very much deserted House of Commons chamber, literally only a few speakers on either side. And as we were proposing this, he said, Mr. Speaker, I might just caution that if people think they can get something for nothing, they might just go ahead with it. And sort of vexatious and unimportant and unprovable cases may be bought by workers just to get something for nothing. Yeah, notice that. He used the words to get something for nothing. In other words, if there had just been that you have to pay so many £100 or £1,000 or whatever, or you had to pay for all of your costs, then you wouldn't bring a sort of vexatious or unprepared case. Yeah? You'd think twice about doing it because you'd have to pay for the prosecution, or at least for taking it before the tribunal. Look at that. Something for nothing. Doesn't that say something about this government? Any thought of someone getting something for nothing? They're scum. They are absolute scum. Add to that, although it's not strictly on the same topic, it's something else I was reading about today. Apparently, the Criminal Injuries Compensation Commission, or board, or whatever, have refused to compensate for criminal injury at least 7,000 children, particularly, obviously, young girls not old enough to give consent to an act of sex, girls who have been raped, girls in some cases of 12. It has been said they cannot be compensated even though their attackers have been found guilty and have been locked up. But get this for your Tories. Get this for them. They'll use a very strict definition of consent, and it is assumed, therefore, that they have consented to being raped. They haven't used the strict legal definition that would apply to an adolescent or a youngster under the age of 16, at which even legal consent can theoretically and practically be given. That's what you're dealing with. These are the inhuman scum, and I use that phrase yet again, and I'll say it again, and I'll repeat it again, and it will be more forthright. Inhuman Tory scum. These are the scum we are dealing with that also, as we know, are insisting that women prove they were raped in the case of a child that they wish to claim support for from the state in the case of rape. They actually want women to prove that. These people are animals. They are scum. They are filth. They are the lowest of the low. They are inhuman, greed-driven, profit-driven, capital-driven, cut-driven, massive billionaire-scale hedge fund-driven monsters. They're monsters. We are governed by fascist monsters. We must make sure they are gone soon. Think about that just once again. They're saying 12-year-old girls and other young children could have consented to sex, and they're suggesting that women have to prove medically that they have been raped in order to claim for a child that they have obviously decided to have. I leave you with that thought. What a brutal society and what a brutal government. We must get them out. Don't stop working for that over the summer, because I'm not going to stop working for that. They must be gone. Take care, and once again, remember the fight is not over, but we're in there and we're going to win. Take care. Bye-bye.